Good to see everybody. It's been a great summer. I really got to give Cole and Carol and our strength and conditioning staff a ton of credit. Just the effort, the energy that those guys brought every day, the way our team responded was just fantastic. So I feel great about where we're at kind of physically and mentally going into the season. I think we're excited to get started. It's been a long year, but the staff's excited. July is kind of a time where the coaches get a little bit of time to be a dad or a husband or, in Coach Akina's case, maybe a grandpa, Coach Babers too, and recharge a little bit. But we're back and we're excited to be back. And report day is always a special day, an exciting day. And here we go.
We'll start with Justin. After the spring and the summer, what do you think are some things that you learned about your team?
That's a big question because there was a lot going on in the spring and summer, right? I think the best way I could say it is so many of these young men made the unpopular choice, the unselfish choice, and they chose to stay together. They made that choice for each other when they had, right, since I came on, and then also post-spring practice, they all had 45 days where they could have chosen to stay or to go, right? And there's only, I think there was 7 changes in Division I football last year at head coaches, right? Those 7 schools all had to deal with that 30-day portal the day the head coach left. That's a really unique thing and really complicated. And I just think the players here are really special because they chose to stay committed to each other. And that's not happening a lot right now in college football. So from that perspective, I feel great about, what we've learned over the last 6 months or so that we've been together is that these guys love each other and they're committed to each other. And I think that's a great place to start with a football team.
As far as position battles go, do you want that to get out of the way in the next couple of weeks, or do you think that some of those could carry into the season?
That's hard to say. I think some of those things they're decisively, ended early in camp, and some of those things can't be determined until you start playing real football. And so that'll be a case by case basis. But I do feel good about the people that we've added to the roster. I think they've given us you're always trying to increase competition at each position, so that every single day when they're out there on the practice field, it's incredibly that it's high pressure and it's highly intense, and so that they're used to operating in the space where there's success and failure and consequences. And when you have a lot of competition at each position, that just causes everybody to elevate, and that's what we're trying to do with our football team.
Brian Peters. Speaking of all those newer players that have shown up this spring, how quickly do you hope to get them integrated into reps and all of that? Is this first week still just kind of about getting them acclimated to the whole group?
No. I mean, if there's people that we brought in here thinking they can have impact on this football team this season, they're going to be thrown into the fire, and I tell the guys that just got here, now it's a little easier for them because they've been through it at another place, but they've been through it. But I tell them the same thing I told the freshmen, you're accountable for what you know and kind of the effort and your attitude. Like, those things you can control every single day. And so as they step into being a part of this football team here, if they want to play, prove it. That's why we have practice. Prove it.
Michael Levin and David.
I know that we're here to talk about this season, but the House settlement is going to have a great impact on next season and future seasons. When you saw the 105-player roster limit, the potential to scholarship 105 players, what were your thoughts on that, how it might impact roster construction, recruiting, etc.?
What my reaction was, wow, we have a lot to talk about. But really, for me, at the places I've been, the last 20 plus years, we always started camp with 105. That was it. You know what I mean? It wasn't until COVID that we were able to add 5 more players at San Jose State. So for me, a roster of 105 that's SOP. You know, that's what it's been. You know, that's what you brought to camp. And I was never at a school that either had a budget or could comply Title IX wise to take that roster to 130 or 140 like some schools do. I've never experienced that. So we had to find ways to win football games with 105 every place I've ever been, basically.
David in Detroit.
We've heard a lot of people talk about in terms of the offense, how the verbiage is the same, or at least very similar to what this offense dealt with last year. How do you best explain what that means in terms of, you know, what you've kept in line with the players to make it easier for them to transition from that offense to this offense?
Well, I think everybody. I mean, if you watch a football game on any level, lots of people are running some variation of similar stuff, right? And it's comes down to the quality of players and the execution. And so for us in this instance, if there was something that Coach Fish's staff did offensively, that was a concept, a thought, a scheme that we believed in as a coaching staff, then we just borrowed the verbiage that our players were used to, so that we put the onus of learning on the coaches. So it's better to have 10 guys learn it than have 70. And so that was just a simpler way. And it's also coaches are used to that, right? We're changing names, creating new plays, learning other people's stuff all the time. And so, you know, that I just thought that was an easier way for us to proceed than for us to come in here and say, hey, we're doing all this stuff and this is what we call it, and all you players here learn it. That just didn't make sense to me.
Troy and Craig.
During spring football, you said that you guys wanted to add 2 quarterbacks in the depth chart there, and you were able to do that. What do you want to see out of the backup quarterback position? What is your kind of standard to be the guy behind Noah Fafita from the group behind him?
Well, I think that's one of those questions that has to play out a little bit. You know, I thought, you know, Braden and Cole did a really nice job in spring in the spring game, and you saw them both compete and throw some good balls in that spring game and complete some passes. So, you know, adding the other 2 is going to be fun. I think that part of it will again play out over time, and you know, those guys are all going to get turns, and you know, now how we manage that, we're going to get into that and kind of be a little bit specific about what we think that can be. But you know, first and foremost, the most important thing is getting that first group ready to go, right? And so. And then, you know, I've been telling players this for years, but, you know, if you're second team, third team, fourth team, whatever, what do you do with the chances you get? If you get 2 reps, do those 2 reps say you should get 4? Or do those 2 reps say you should get 0? Right? And so it'll be on them to perform.
Craig and then
Coach, just grand scheme of things, overall picture, 7 months is probably a whirlwind for you, I'm guessing. Is there anything you wish you had a couple more days to get done before camp starts tomorrow, or are you ready to go?
I wish I had a couple more days on the lake, I think. But no, honestly, you know, with my family. But I'm excited to be back. And I think the staff is, and the players are, you know, even the players that I talked to, you know, over the weekend, everyone's excited to get going. It's the cool thing about this job is that there's like a natural structure to your calendar. Like there is a specific, you know what's coming. And so as you start to get into late July, everybody starts to feel that excitement. There's more football on television. There's more people talking about it. When you see people wherever, you know, out of the supermarket or wherever, Chipotle, they're like, you guys ready for the year? You know, it starts building that momentum. And so that part of it is exciting. I'm excited that it's August and we're kicking it off. Let's go.
Justin.
So there was a lot of talk about the coach-to-player communication in the spring, and additionally, you guys are adding Microsoft tablets. Just with the communication and tablets, how do you approach that?
We're going to practice with it as much as we can during training camp. You know, we've had a lot of conversations with people about how to utilize it, or, you know, kind of best practices there. But I think that's going to be a little bit specific to our staff and how, you know, the value our coaches find in it, and kind of what we're able to like pull off of it, and how quickly we can get that stuff integrated to our process. You know, we like as assistant coaches or, you know, college coaches, we've been watching high schools do it for shoot, 10 years, maybe more, you know? So I think we're all excited about it because of the information you're going to be getting in real time and be able to provide your players a picture or a video of what's happening in real time.
David and then Brian.
Coach, you mentioned going to the lake with the family. What's the most enjoyable part of that? Are you fishing? Are you water skiing? Is that something you've done your whole life?
Yeah, I've been going to the same lake with my family for 40 years. So just my wife and I got engaged there 25 years ago. When we're up there, it's always our anniversary, which was this summer, on the 15th of July. And it's been 24 amazing years, according to me at least. I'm not sure what she'd say. But no, it's just great. It's cool because now we're, now the third generation is up there together. So there's this group of families. We've all grown up together. It's just a really special place to me. And so I always look forward to getting a little bit of time up there.
Can you say what lake that is? Or?
It's Donner Lake, Northern California, right by Tahoe. My mom lives there in town, right? So my mom lives in Truckee. So all my brothers and sisters and their families go. And, as you get older, it's just hard to get the whole family together. Everybody's got work and life and kids and all that stuff going on. So it's always a special time when we're up there together.
Who's next, Brian?
Just wanted to confirm what the status is of Ron Williams. Is he on the roster for the fall?
He's going to be part of us, but he's unable to participate in the fall.
And do you have anybody that you anticipate will not be available at the start of practice?
We'll get that list to you. Yeah, I've said before, I'm not going to talk about kind of the medical issues and just not, because when you do, it just becomes the whole focus of everything. And I'm excited about the football season starting, and I want to talk about the guys that are available. That's where the story is. That's the fun stuff. Noah Fafita and T-Mac and Gunner and Stukes and Manu coming back and Savanea. That's the fun stuff, and that's where I want to focus.
Last question to Jenna.
During spring, when you first got here, your focus was really keeping the team together. During spring, it was trying to get people on the portal. What is your biggest focus as you head into the start of fall camp? Focus for you and your coaches?
I think every football team during fall camp is trying to continue to build that connection, that brotherhood. But then there's a physical component that you really haven't been able to do with the consistency that you do in fall. And this is the time where you start to build that. This is where your team comes together off the field and on the field. And it's hard and it's hot and you're tired and you're beat up, and the choices that those players make every day to get up and come together and do this again and put in the work together. It's the most fun part of the football season, is getting started and building the football team.
All right, that's